Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw and this channel is all about the narcissistic personality disorder to give you more understanding the people you might have been dealing with in your life, how to handle those people if you cannot go no contact, how to do no contact, and ways to recover from narcissistic abuse. If you do like the information on this channel, please do subscribe. This video is about the Narcissist discard. A discard is to intentionally throw something away that we no longer find useful or that we no longer see as being desirable. Narcissistic people do this because they have no regard to our thoughts, to our feelings, to who we are as a person. It's a bit like a mobile phone. Narcissistic people use people how people use mobile phones. You can see a nice new shiny mobile phone that we would like. We can go all out to get that mobile phone. We can work hard to achieve that mobile phone. We can bring that mobile phone home. We can spend lots of time figuring out how it all works, all the ins and outs, what button does what. If you press this button, what do you get from that mobile phone? We can spend a lot of time on it. We can protect it with a protective case. We can put passwords in it to make sure that nobody gets into it to find information from it. We can accidentally break it and then we can take it to a shop to try and fix it, or we can buy a new one and put that one to one side while we focus on the new mobile phone. And when we accidentally break the new mobile phone, we might pull out the old mobile phone to see whether we can get that one up and running and working as we wish it to work again. We drain a mobile phone of its charge to then charge it back up again, to then drain it again, to charge it back up again, to drain it again, to charge it back up again. And eventually that battery on that phone loses its capacity to be able to charge back up again to its full capabilities. We will then go and replace the battery or replace the mobile phone. Narcissistic people use people how we use mobile phones. They see a person, they go and idolize that person, they love bomb that person, they get to know that person for who that person is, they mirror them, they work out their weaknesses, their strengths, their insecurities, they figure out what button does what, they spend a lot of time getting to know that person, planning fake futures with that person, drawing that person in. They can isolate that person from support, so that person's got no one to go to. They can drain them to then offer those intermittent reinforcements of the idolization stage, the love bombing, to bring them back up, to drain them all over again. And this can actually help in their smear campaign, because often when in a relationship with a narcissist, all those highs and lows, all the stress from the lows, it releases those chemicals and it can drain us as who we are. That stress can cause never-ending illnesses within us. They can start taking us to the doctors, getting us on medication, draining us more and more. We might think that they're trying to help us, not realising they're the root cause to all our illnesses, because our immune system's getting weaker and weaker due to all the stress. And when we're starting to look a bit like this, to the outside world, we look like we're the one that's suffering from some sort of mental health problem, which we are, not realising that problem is caused by being around a narcissist. We can look at ourselves and see that the person that's looking back at us is not who we once were. Again, not realising the person that's taken us down is a narcissist. There's plenty of reasons why a narcissist discards us. It's more of a disengagement, because they often, if they find an opportunity to get back with us, I'll add the video for the Hoover, If they find an opportunity to get back together with us, they will use that opportunity. So it's often a disengagement, and like that mobile phone, they will come and pick it back up if the new isn't working how they expected it to work, and they believe they've got an opportunity to get you working how they want you to work again. And there's several reasons why a narcissist will discard. The first is they didn't get their own way. They didn't get what they wanted. Whether they've tried draining you and getting you on medication to try and take your house off you, and they've not succeeded in getting that house off you, so they go and find someone else to move in with, the one where they'll just ghost you, completely disappear on you. So you go chasing friends and family because you're concerned, trying to work out where they are, which they will use against you in the smear campaign by saying that you stalk them. Those people around them don't understand that that narcissist has just upped and left with no closure, no answers, no nothing, and you're showing genuine concern. And if you are looking drained, if you are looking worn out, that narcissist is playing the hero of how much they've tried to help you and painting you out to be the villain of the relationship that's gone crazy and that is stalking them. And you might look that way. It really does help with their smear campaign, all their manipulative methods. They do try to get their story in there first with other people, so that when you speak out, the narcissist has already got their version of events in, and you sound crazy, which the narcissist has already painted you out to be. Number two, you try to have a reasonable conversation with them, either progress the relationship somewhere or try to manage adult things, buying houses, getting married, or holding them accountable for some sort of behaviour, some way they've hurt your feelings or some way they've let the family down, holding them accountable, believing that they might have made a mistake, they might not understand how they've made other people feel, that you can go and have a conversation with them, and you get the word salad thrown back at you, and they just walk out, they just leave because you're trying to hold them accountable and they do not want to be held responsible for their own behaviour. That's why you get the word salad. That's why they will deny, they will blame shift, they will project, they will triangulate, they will start talking about anything but what the conversation was originally about. They'll accuse you of creating drama, they'll sulk, they'll silent treatment, and they'll go and move in with someone to try and sabotage you, to try and bring you down, to try and hurt you for just having a conversation with them. 3, you started creating boundaries. You've started to realise that something isn't quite right within the relationship and you're beginning to lose who you are. So it's time to start being yourself more and picking yourself back up and relying on who you are. You've started creating boundaries. You've started realising the things they say, the things they do aren't quite matching, or you don't want to be made to feel guilty to do something that makes you feel like you've lost your integrity. So you're trying to keep hold of that integrity and creating boundaries. The narcissist doesn't like this. Because of their entitlement, they take this that you've questioned their entitlement, so they can up and leave because they're not getting their needs met from you anymore. Stopped giving them the emotional responses. You're becoming more aware of your reactions. A narcissist is very good at using your weaknesses and your insecurities and your strengths against you, to devalue you, to bring you crashing down, to upset you, to hurt you, to weaken you, so that they can break your boundaries easier. And we can begin to react and we can feel guilt, we can feel remorse for our reactions. So we might start learning how to control our emotions more so that we don't react, because we know that behaviour is wrong. And a narcissist will point out that that behaviour is wrong. They will emphasise what we've done wrong while downplaying or denying what they did to lead up to the events. And because we are responsible for our own behaviour, because we can see where we might have made a mistake, we might go and work on that. So as our emotional reactions become less and less towards them, the more they can escalate their games to try and get that attention, because they require excessive attention. And if they are not getting the positive attention that they believe they deserve, and if you're off working on your emotions, working on who you are as a person, that's taking the attention away from what they believe they're entitled to, they don't like this. And then when you're not reacting, they do prefer positive attention, but they will go for negative. So when you're no longer reacting, they take this as criticism. To them, you're questioning their belief that they are special, their requirement for that attention. They feel envious that you are working on yourself, and they seek to bring you down. And if they can't bring you down within the relationship, they will discard you in hideous ways to bring you down outside of the relationship. And any breakdown of any relationship is painful. It is hard, it is difficult. Most people, you can have some form of communication, you can work on things, you can work on yourself, and you can heal and recover. A narcissist, you can heal and recover, but a narcissist will not give you any form of closure. They will just leave a crater full of questions that you have to find the answers to so that you can move forward within your life. Similar to no emotional responses, when you just stop playing their games, when you almost see them for the childlike behaviour that they are showing to you, and you just stop playing because you've just had enough of being drawn in and that push and pull, and you've had enough of fighting for something that just never seems to come together, or when it does, it goes back straight where you're crushed, where you're upset, where you're hurt. You almost in one way get used to the pain while you're in that relationship. So when you stop playing their games, they might try and escalate their games. When they're not getting the reactions they believe that they are entitled to from you, when they're not getting the treatment they believe they are entitled to, because of their arrogance, they believe that they should be able to play you and get what they want from you. When they don't get this, they get offended and they can discard again in cruel ways. 6, like the phone, when they've completely drained you, when you just not who you were before. Depending on the narcissist you're dealing with, because of that belief that they are special, because that requirement of preoccupation of power and success, and they want the best husband, they want the best wife, they want the best partner, they want the best girlfriend, they want the best boyfriend, they want the best family, they want to show off to the world how amazing they've got it. So if they've drained you, they will either be playing the hero to get the attention from people of how they're trying to help you, or they'll be playing the victim of how you've exploited them, even though they were exploiting you, how you've drained them, and they will up and leave because you are no longer serving their needs. With a narcissist, you will not get it right with them. They have those underlying traits of the disorder, and they lack the empathy to care. They have no regard to your thoughts and feelings. So no matter what you do or do not do, you will not be able to make them happy. People have to make themselves happy, and due to their underlying traits of the disorder, due to that negativity that's always running in the background, due to that low self-esteem, due to the fact that they can't recognise where their behaviour might be harming their life, they pin the blame on everyone around them. You will not be able to make them happy because they cannot make themselves happy. They do not see a problem within themselves. They do not see a problem within their own life. They do not see problems within their mistakes. Where we can learn and grow, recognise areas where we need to improve, recognise areas where we've made mistakes in life, and we can learn from those and develop those and find our inner happiness, find our passions, find what makes us happy. Narcissists are always relying on other people. When those other people don't do as they please, they will always blame those other people. When it comes to a narcissist, the discard is often temporary. Not all narcissists discard people. Those that do, it's often temporary. Some you can have no contact set up to the point where they cannot get back in. So it might seem like they don't hoover, but most will try and hoover, most will try and get the relationship going again at some point. With us, we don't discard them because often we care about them. We live in the hope that we can get back that person that they sold themselves to be in the idealization stage, that's when they're love bombing us. We want to see the good in those that continue to show us the bad. We want to help those that we care about, no matter how much they hurt us, no matter how much pain they put us in. And when we are trauma bonded with someone, when we have that chemical addiction to them as well, it's very difficult to get out of the situation that we've found ourselves in and get out of that relationship. Often we don't discard them to hurt them because we care about them, and it's our ending of the relationship is when we wake up and realise the pain of staying in that relationship, that long-term pain to never gain is going to be far, far worse than the short-term pain of ending the relationship, healing ourselves and moving on with our life. When we realise that the comfort zone we thought we were in is not comfortable, those dreams that we thought we wanted are never going to be achievable with that person, that we have to create our own dreams, that we have to create our own passions, our own desires and achieve them for ourselves. And if we can find someone that wants to walk with us on that path and join us and create those dreams together, then that's fantastic. But a narcissist is only going to take us down. When we realise they're only going to take us down and bring us further pain, that's when we end the relationship. It is not to hurt them, as often we feel guilty for ending the relationship. We feel bad for no longer being there for them. We can feel shame that it didn't work out. We can feel angry when we realise how much someone has exploited us. We can feel resentment towards that person for how much they've hurt us. We can even go through stages of wanting to seek revenge, to even the scales, so that they can see the pain that they have put us through. Not that they'll see it because they see you as causing all their problems. We can almost take on all the problems of the relationship as our own. We have to work on passing back the things that they caused, being accountable for our behaviour and working on us as a person and realising that we cannot help them. It is who they are. They are not, if someone is not willing to help themselves, you will not be able to help them. So what we actually have to discard from our life is those emotions. We have to process those emotions. We have to learn from those emotions. We do have to grieve the end of the relationship so that we can discard all the things that are no longer serving us and move on to a much happier life. The thing with guilt is it can trap us in a place that we're not supposed to be. Guilt is designed to prevent us from doing things that would potentially hurt another person, to stop us from hurting that other person. With a narcissist, there'll be things that you haven't even done that they will guilt trip you on, so that you are the one that feels bad, so you stay in a place that you were never meant to be. They use emotional abuse. They use your own emotions against you. These are the emotions that we have to lose within ourselves. These are the things that we have to discard. Not altogether. We do need things like jealousy, because jealousy, when used the right way, it teaches us what we would like to achieve from life. Not narcissistic way, which is to go and destroy somebody else. When we use jealousy the right way, we can say, oh yes, I would like that, and go and achieve it for ourselves. Guilt, when we feel guilty, it's to not do something so that we don't hurt somebody else. Anger, we learn how to not treat other people. So we do need those emotions, but where the narcissist has placed those emotional states into you, we have to learn to let those go, which is quite difficult with things like the trauma bond, memories, because memories trigger those emotions, and when those emotions are triggered, we feel like we're back in that place, which can bring on things like anxiety. When it comes to working through these, there's lots of different avenues you can take, there's lots of different routes you can take to work for you, but one of the things that really helps is understanding that we are in control of our thoughts. Our subconscious might have been trained to think a certain way, and we have to consciously retrain our thinking. So all those negative thoughts that no longer serve us, we have to learn how to discard. You can do that in several ways. You can write down all the negative thoughts that don't serve you, write down why they don't serve you, and write down a more positive thought. So when you're starting things with I can't, we have to change it to I can, but not to keep you trapped in a situation you shouldn't be in. So you can't make a relationship work with a narcissist. I can create a happier life for myself. So it's finding the right way to phrase things that works for you. Writing down all the negatives of the relationship, writing down all the things they've put you through, writing down all the things that you've been blamed for, and then writing the reality, writing the truth, writing how they gaslighted you, writing how they exploited you, writing how they triangulated you, writing how they isolated you, working through the emotions. It is going to hit hard, so you might need a supportive friend with you, working through the emotions that these things give you as you're working through them. You can actually keep this bit of paper that you've wrote the things down on, so when that trauma bond is getting to you, and when you're thinking you would like to reach out to them because you care about them and see if they're okay, you can pull out that piece of paper and go through it and check it and remember why you don't want to go there. The same as when you're feeling anger and resentment towards them, use that pain, use that emotion to drive you forward to achieve what you want in life. Don't use it to try and hurt them, because that will only end up hurting you. If you have empathy, if you care about people, you're going to feel guilty. It's only going to bring you down. Use that anger, use that resentment to create your best life for you. It's not easy, it is worth it. You can get to a point then when you have moved on, time passes, you've worked on the inner pain, you've healed who you are, you over the past, and you can burn that, and that can be your final response to yourself of letting go of the past. The final discard comes from you when you're ready to work on everything you've been through, when you're ready to go through the pain of going through all those emotions that might be built up in you, and when you're ready to discard those emotions from the past because they are no longer serving you, or use those emotions to drive you forward into your future to create a better life for you. Again, we are all individuals, and what works for one person doesn't work for another. What one person can do within a week might take another person a month, 6 months. We are all individuals. We all have different qualities. We all have different ways of working through things. So if you do have any advice for what works for you, please do add that into the comments, because people reading these can help. Seeking the right therapy for you. Some people can watch endless YouTube videos and that helps them build their lives. Some people can do courses, some people can read books, some people can join support groups, some people go for EMDR treatment, if I put that the right way around. Some people see counsellors, coaches, therapists. There's lots of different ways that you can find to work for you to heal and recover. If you're working on one, sometimes we do have to give things a chance and give it time to work, but listen to those feelings. If your feelings are making you question that something isn't working for you, find another approach. You can always find another approach. Sometimes we have to change our perspective, other times we have to change our approach, and keep going until you find what works for you, until you create that happier life for you. I shall add in the description the video on the Hoover, the video about no contact, and the video for Grey Rock, because no contact and Grey Rock are really your starting points for recovering from narcissistic abuse. I shall add the free course up here, and the course is in the description. That free course just kickstart you into recovery. A lot of people do that free course, it gets them started on the road of recovery and finding what works for them. Do 3 things today that make you happy. Do 3 things today that make you laugh, whether that is putting on some music and jumping around the room, whether that's going for some exercise, whether that's watching a funny movie. Do something that makes you laugh, and look for 3 things today that you are grateful for. Find 3 things that you can turn into being grateful for. So things like being discarded by a narcissist, you can turn that into being grateful that you didn't have to end the relationship. You can now create a happy life for you. Find those things that you can turn around to be grateful for, to pick you back up. Find something that makes you happy. Find something that makes you laugh. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope everyone has an amazing day. Bye.